My name is Mike Fasolino, and I currently serve as the Deputy Fire Chief for the Town of Medway. I have lived in town all my life and have been on this fire department for 33 years, first starting out as a call volunteer member, and that's where I met John and Vonnie. John was an officer on the fire department. He was the first one to say hello to me when I first got on. As time went on, John mentored me. He taught me so much of this business. I can actually thank him for where I am today because of all the things he taught me. And as time went on, I met Vonnie through John, and Vonnie was a crossing guard, and she was actually my crossing guard when I was later in school, but she was still my crossing guard. And my kids, actually, all three of them, remember Vonnie being a crossing guard as they all walked to school, and remembered her giving the high fives as they crossed the street. We became friends. My wife and I became friends with them. They're staples in the community. They're well known. Their dedication, they're always volunteering, whether it's here at the town hall or elections. They're just always giving their time. And I can honestly say you know, I'm humbled to know that I know them both and consider them both good friends. And that's why I nominate them for the Unsung Hero Award.
My name is Vonnie Clark.
My name is John Clark.
I just love to volunteer. I mean, I feel God was good to me with all my sickness and brought me through, so we want to give back. I was a crossing guard for 32 years, police matron for 32 years with Medway.
In 1962, I happened to get on the volunteer fire department in Medway, and I served 38 years on the fire department and ended up as assistant chief.
Then I got to working at the polls right after we were married. I was asked if I could help out at the polls for voting, and I said, sure. Back then we used to count the things with the paper ballots. And I started, and I think if you checked with the town clerk and them, probably the longest one that's worked at the polls in Medway. I'm still there, and that's over almost, well, 60 years at least, a little over 60 I've been.
I was working on the highway, and the chief came and asked me, he says, would you like to be a volunteer on the fire department? I said, definitely. I loved the volunteering part, and I loved working with the men. I really did. I got a good relationship with it. I had a lot of fun with it.
Police matron is when they arrest females, and they bring them into the station, and then they need a matron there to do the searching and so on and so forth. I used to do all the raids with the Medway at the time, because back in those days they didn't have as many female officers as they have today. Used to meet the state troopers up on 495 at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we'd swap prisoners. They'd bring me one, and I'd be giving them one, or they'd be bringing one to us. Chief that was passed away, Bill Gillinato, he needed a crossing guard at one post they didn't have, and I got called, and I said, Billy, I can't get out in the street. I'm too little. No one's going to stop for me. They'll run me over. And he laughed. He says, you get out there and you'll do it. So the first time I put my hands up and a car stopped, I thought, wow, this is pretty good. And that's what I love about working at the polls, because the kids come in to vote, and even when they were in college, they'd come home to see me, and they'd come in to vote. It was great. I had my kids. I had them convinced they were the best kids in Medway. Some of us wives, we decided, the guys, when they go out at night, they'd need coffee or something like that. So a group of us got together, the Medway Ladies Firefighters Auxiliary. That's what we were, yeah. They voted me in as president. I don't know why, but they did. And we would make coffee and stuff. There'd be a big fire. Like when Mahan Circle had that bad fire at one time, I couldn't get a hold of anybody. I went out myself, and I had the coffee and went up there and served the guys hot coffee in the middle of the night. Back in years ago, we used to have 2 political parties in town, which probably a lot of these people don't even know. We had the Good Government and the Progressive, and I was involved. I used to go to, huh?
You were a treasurer.
Oh, I was treasurer for the good. I was the only woman that used to go half the time. It would be a few men, and I'd be the only one going there. I said I volunteered for almost over 60 years at the polls, and now I'm a warden. I've been a warden for quite a while now. But I started off just being a checker, you know, counting the ballots at night. When they had the early voting down here, Mary Jane, of course, was the town clerk then, and she would have to set up out in the fire station here. John and I got up every morning, and she couldn't do it alone, so John and I'd be down here 6 o'clock in the morning, setting up for her and staying till it would close, and we'd break it down at night and be here the next morning. We did that for the 2 weeks that we had the early voting. I was on the street naming committee. When a new project starts, they'd want some new streets, so we'd have to come up with some names. Short Street and Liberty, that's right up in that area. The fella that owned the land, those 2 streets, I gave them names in my kitchen. He came to my house as I was putting supper on the table, and he said, Vonnie, I got it. And I said, okay, let's go it this way. I gave him Short and Liberty, and then I brought it up at the meeting, and we gave it. And that was done at my kitchen table. I was even chairman for that, too. I guess I ended up chairman on that one, too. Well, I'm on the Council on Age, and I'm on that board. Yeah, I'm on that with them. I've been with them. In fact, I got to being reappointed again. I've been on quite a long time with them. I enjoy that because it's for the you know, the elderly, and listen who's talking. We get the listing of everybody that's 90 or older. Yeah, and then they get they come down and we put on a
dinner down at the
senior center and give them a nice dinner, and they enjoy it. God love them, and most of them will want a little dish to take it home. You know, that's so nice. I just love to help people. I love to help people. I want to be there. I feel as though I'm needed all the time, and I want to do it. I want to do it. You move into this town, you got to help others. You got to help each other out. You got to. But people have told us we're crazy to do what we do, to go out of our way. No, no.
I like to help people. I mean, a lot of people come back and say, "Oh, you're paying the butt." But I enjoy doing what I do.
Medway is our town. It's where I grew up, and I figure it's the town. It's my town. Do what you can. Help people out. Whoever needs us, we're available. That's all I can say.